Okay, everyone, we're going to get started. I can hear the bells ringing outside, signaling that it's noon on Boston College's campus. So we're going to begin our information session on the Woods College of Advancing Studies Master of Healthcare Administration program. I want to welcome you this afternoon to our session. And just a quick housekeeping reminder, if you could add any questions you might have into the chat room, and we'll be sure to answer those as the session goes on or at the end of the session as well. Okay. So today's presenters, just to give you an idea of who you're hearing from, my name is Claudia Porvelis. I'm the Associate Dean of Enrollment Management here in the Woods College. I'm joined by Dr. Steve Bowman, who is the Graduate Program Director of our Healthcare Administration online program, and Colin Connors, who is the Academic and Admissions Advisor here on campus, and you'll be hearing from all of us as the session goes on. The Woods College of Advancing Studies is the School of Professional and Continuing Education at Boston College. So what does that mean? We offer quite an array of flexible evening programs for students. We offer part-time and full-time degree and certificate programs that really try to complement students' professional and personal lives. We recognize that students have outside commitments, including work and families, and we want to try to make education an option for students who have many outside commitments. So certainly an online program such as the Healthcare Administration program complements students' professional and personal lives quite well, and I'm very excited that you're here to learn more about the program. For those of you who may not know Boston College, I'm so happy to see that we have students from across the country joining us today. Boston College is certainly a premier academic institution in the country and internationally. We're very proud to have expert faculty in advising. Dr. Bowman can certainly speak to that. He has some fantastic faculty on his staff that he's working with who are teaching from across the country. We obviously offer online and hybrid courses. So this program is entirely online with an immersion section on campus here in Boston. But many of our other programs offer hybrid courses as well. As I said, BC is a top-notch academic institution. We really pride ourselves on the rigor of our programs, on the rigor of our institution, and I think you will see that firsthand in the Master of Healthcare Administration program. Even being a large institution, however, we really pride ourselves also on a personalized learning environment. You will have very close contact with Dr. Bowman, with some of the learning specialists and coaches in the program. You're not just a number at Boston College, you are part of a very close and intimate personal community here. When you graduate from BC, you will become one of a huge alumni network of over 180,000 members. We're very proud of our alums, and I think you would find firsthand the power of the alumni network professionally, personally, as you're seeking jobs upon graduation, looking for internships or just networking opportunities. The BC network is really top-notch across the country and again internationally. Even though also you will be an online student, we strongly encourage you to take advantage of our career services and our vibrant community on campus. We have so many wonderful lectures, so many great newsletters that you can receive and really be a part of a community even from far away. We really want you to feel a member of the Boston College community. And as you look at some other programs out there, I do hope that you're exploring a few throughout the country. Certainly something that sets Boston College apart from some of the other programs that are out there is our commitment to Jesuit principles and the development of the whole person. We are not an institution that does not infuse its mission into the academics. So you will see that there are Jesuit principles that are instilled and inculcated throughout the curriculum, and that's something we're very proud of, and we really want you to see firsthand in the program. Now, I did want to just list some of the other degrees and certificates that we offer at BC. As many of you know, There is a 2-year work experience requirement for the healthcare administration program, and that's something Dr. Bowman will speak about a bit more also. Because of that, if you don't have that 2-year requirement, I would strongly urge you to consider some of our other graduate programs on campus. We offer an MS in Leadership and Administration program, which is hybrid. So we offer a lot of on-campus courses, but then also some online as well. We offer an MS in Applied Economics, an MS in Cybersecurity Policy and Governance, and then several certificates as well. So again, we offer quite a robust array of programs that if the Healthcare Administration program is not a good fit for you, I would encourage you to consider one of our other programs because they all really speak to the academic rigor of the institution. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Dr. Bowman and turn it over to him. Okay, Steve, you're all set.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. I'm really glad you were willing to take the time to learn a little bit more about our program. I'm very passionate about the MHA program that we built here at Boston College and look forward to telling you a little bit more about that. Just as a little bit of background about me, so I'm a little bit different than some and probably like you in some ways in that I know what it's like to be a working professional, also balancing professional graduate school. And so I went through my MHA program directly from an undergraduate program, but then about 15 years after working in my career, I went back and got my PhD at the University of Washington and worked full-time and went to school full-time and coached my kids' ice hockey team and spent 4 years trying to find that balance between professional life and certainly family and education. So we really do understand what it's like when we talk about being an adult learner and being able to work through some of the challenges. And we're very much geared towards having a program that's accessible and will really help you to be able to succeed and find that balance. If you want to go ahead and advance to the next slide for me. So some of our current students have certainly been able to identify some of the strengths of our program and certainly the flexibility of being able to really modify the program to fit your needs in terms of work. We'll talk a little bit more about the program itself and how that plays out, but we really have tried to create a flexible program that really can work with your schedules. Certainly having Boston College behind this program is very important. There's a lot of online MHA programs out there. There are not a lot of online programs that are high quality. And so our goal is to make sure this is the highest quality online program that can possibly be delivered. And we're very committed to making sure that the experience for students is certainly very, very high quality and well received. So from the beginning in designing this program, we've aligned with employers. We have a wonderful employer advisory group that has really helped us to identify the competencies that are needed for future leaders in this field and for those that are up and coming and already in the field to make sure that we really do have the best curriculum possible in terms of being able to give you that head start and jumpstarting your career. It's convenient, certainly with 12 courses in our program, 11 of which are fully online. We have a lot of ability to allow people who are working to be able to do this program from any location, whether it's while they're traveling on business or whether it's from a Starbucks occasionally, wherever it might be. We do recognize that there are lots of commitments in people's lives. And I think this is one of those where a program that, unlike many, we offer a high degree of personalized service and support for students. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I think that's really what differentiates our program from any of the other programs is that we can really provide you with a level of support that others just can't do. And I think this is something that we're really proud of. So our target for this program in terms of the types of applicants that we typically would appeal to are those that are currently working in healthcare organizations, and it might be on the management and operations side, whether it's in finance or operations or human resources or IT or project management or whatever the other business support function within a healthcare system might be. And then certainly we see a lot of interest from clinicians. And so our cohort that's underway right now is a pretty even mix between clinical leaders and those coming from non-clinical backgrounds. backgrounds that are working in healthcare. So we do require 2 years of healthcare management or supervisorial experience. And we do allow people with clinical experience, if you have 5 years of clinical experience, to be able to participate in the program. The goal of that, and just to talk just a second more about that, if you don't have any healthcare experience at all, if you're not working in healthcare, you typically need to be thinking about a program that's going to help you to develop some of that sort of networking early on. Once you're in a healthcare system, to be able to build on an MHA, you'll find that there's lots of great career opportunities. Sometimes for students that don't have any healthcare experience, getting an MHA and trying to launch into a career in healthcare can be really daunting. And so we find that it's better to be in the organizations first, and certainly we're geared towards that population. Okay, thank you. So next slide now. So we have a really robust model that's in place. So we have a lot of asynchronous work in each course. You'll be doing discussion threads, you'll be doing case studies, you'll be doing group activities that are perhaps at your own pace, certainly within the course. And then we have a faculty-led live session each week that's held in the evenings. And so it's one night a week, and it's for 2 hours. And those are really sort of a high level of engaging, real live experience where we dive deep into issues. We have student-led discussions. We have guest speakers. It's not designed to be voice over PowerPoint lecture. We don't do that with these live sessions. We take advantage of having everybody together and make sure that it's a really rich environment, and we utilize that time wisely. We do have one short course that's held on the Boston College campus over a long weekend. It's a mix of some online work that's prep before and after, but then over a long weekend, we bring you to campus to really focus on healthcare innovations, and we bring in some great speakers and faculty to help work on real-world projects as part of teams over that long weekend. We have 19 competencies that are really integrated throughout the curriculum. And so for each of our courses, we map to specific competencies where we're very focused on making sure that you're attaining and building those competencies over the course of the program. You will get a competency report card from our program in addition to a typical academic transcript. And that's something that can be very useful for you when you're talking with employers and prospective employers about the kinds of skills that you've attained as being part of this program. So we have a dedicated executive coach that's assigned to each student, and that executive coach is with you throughout the program. That person is really there to help you succeed, not just in the coursework, but also in terms of really how you can develop sort of a career path to move you from where you are now into the next phase with the benefits of this type of degree. So we think about networking, professional networking, getting involved with professional associations like the American College of Healthcare Executives or the Medical Group Management Association or the Healthcare Finance Administration programs, HFMA, a whole variety of different professional groups that are really key to helping you succeed in your careers. And so, I've spent a lot of time in director roles for MHA programs, and, I've had students ask me, well, what kind of job are you going to get me when I get my degree from you? And the reality of it is there's no such thing as a free job. And so we all have to build ourselves in terms of networking and our professional development to enhance what we get from a degree. And so if anybody promises you a job as a result of getting a degree, that's just not the way the world is. And so what we're intending to do is to give you all of the tools that will help you be successful in packaging yourself and marketing yourself to be competitive for that next job once you create once you achieve this degree. So we have a lot of different opportunities for participation in terms of professional associations and events here in the Boston area, but beyond. So there's lots of good networking opportunities, and we would encourage you to be involved with those from the beginning. We have 6 enrollment start periods a year, so our next start is October 24th. So there's definitely time if you're interested in applying for the program to do so now and to be able to be considered for admission for the October start period. And that's nice. So our courses are typically 8 weeks in length, and students will take one course at a time on average. And if you take one course, you'll finish this program in 2 years. So it is possible to, over time, look at whether you might accelerate and take more than one class, but that's pretty unusual just because of the time commitment. We are an accelerated program, but that is something that certainly is an option down the road if you find yourself doing well in the program and find yourself with extra time to be able to devote to additional coursework. Okay, next slide, please. So here's just a high-level look at our courses. So each of these represents a course that in our program. There are no electives. There are 12 courses that that make up the curriculum. And so you'll start with our Introduction to Healthcare Systems and Organizations course, which is the sort of foundations course that all students take, and it's really the prerequisite for every other course. And you'll work through health policy. You'll have specific healthcare quality management course where you'll learn really Lean Six Sigma, and you'll develop the skills to potentially be able to pursue a Green Belt certification. The certification is not part of the course itself, but you're really being given the tools that are needed to be able to qualify for Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certification. A human resource management class, healthcare is very unique, and certainly when you look at union issues and labor issues and the dynamics between physicians and nurses and allied health professionals, there are some very unique characteristics of the human resource management in healthcare that differ from other industries. And certainly the fact that many healthcare systems do not employ physicians, but may have independent contractor type relationships, or may simply have privileging, which we have seen most historically in healthcare. And so that creates some really interesting and unique characteristics towards managing human resources. Leadership course, healthcare information technology. We'll spend a lot of time focusing on privacy and HIPAA and all of the other meaningful use components that go along with using electronic health records data now, and how to make sense and how to improve the quality and efficiency of our healthcare systems by using data and using it in meaningful ways. We have the healthcare analytics course, which is really designed to, I'm going to have you go back just a sec, thank you. Healthcare analytics course, which is really geared at decision-making and how to use big data in healthcare organizations to be able to really further the effectiveness of the organizations. So there's a tremendous opportunity now that we see just because of the data that's available, not just in terms of looking at quality and outcomes, but really looking in terms of predictive modeling. How can we predict as an example, what patient might not show up for their appointment? And how can we look at intervening to make sure that we're maximizing our efficiency within organizations? And so these are just kind of an overview of this that really provides this foundation. And we are pursuing accreditation from the Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Management Education, so CAME. Of course, this program is fully accredited as part of Boston College and our regional accrediting body, but certainly from the industry standpoint, we are strongly committed to making sure that we are doing everything that we can to meet the expectations of industry as well. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide here. And I think
Yes, I'm going to turn it over to Colin Connors now, who is our admission and academic advisor.
Perfect, thank you.
Hello, everyone. As Claudia just mentioned, I'm Colin Connors, the academic advisor here at Woods College. I'd just like to provide everyone with an overview of the admissions requirements as well as basic tuition information. First and foremost, as both Claudia and Steve had mentioned, we do require that our applicants have some degree of healthcare experience, 2 years of healthcare management, as well as at least 5 years of clinical experience. First and foremost, the minimum undergraduate GPA of full acceptance is a 3.0. There is a possibility of conditional acceptance for students below 3.0. And for those students with undergraduate GPAs below 3.0, we rather strongly recommend GMAT or GRE scores. We also require official transcripts from universities that you've attended, a personal statement that describes your basic interest in the program and additional qualifications, a resume, as well as 2 letters of recommendation that are professional or academic in nature. And next slide, please. Current tuition is $1,100 per credit. There are 46 credits required for graduation. There's a $25 registration fee per semester and a $45 fee for the summer. So we have both a regular academic semester fee as well as a summer fee. There is no application fee required, and employees of a professional healthcare organization are eligible to receive a discount per credit. And as you can see on the current slide, there is additional financial aid and payment plans available. And next slide, please. If you're interested in more information, we'll be opening up the floor to a Q&A session. But I strongly encourage you to contact Steve Bowman, the program director for the MHA degree. And you can also reach out to the application specialist whose contact information is provided on the current slide. Other than that, I believe we can open up the floor to any questions, whether that's admissions related or direct program related.
Thank you, Colin. So there have been just a few questions that have come in on the chat, and I know Steve was going to speak a bit to the partner discount initially. So I will make sure that he is unmuted. Let's see. Okay, Steve, you're all set.
Great, so thank you. So we do have a nice opportunity to provide you with a discount if your employer, your healthcare organization, is a partner with us. And so we would encourage you, if you're not sure about whether your organization is a partner, please reach out to one of our application specialists and ask, and we can certainly help pursue that with your employer and try to get them secured as a partner so you can be eligible for that discount as well. So it's something that we certainly encourage, and it's a nice benefit for you, and it's a way for us to build partnerships with healthcare organizations, which benefits everybody.
And Steve, could you speak also to if students want to take a little longer to do the program, does it have to be done in the 1 to 2 years, or is something longer an option?
Yeah, so no, we have a lot of flexibility, and because we have 6 start points a year, the courses will be offered frequently. And so if you want to take a term off or space it out a bit, that's certainly an option for you as well. So it's like I said, if you go pretty much one course at a time, you'll finish in 2 years. And if you want to take a term off here and there, it'll take you longer, but you certainly have that flexibility with our program to do that. And we understand that you have other life commitments and families and business travel and personal travel. And so, there may be times when you want a little bit more of that flexibility, and we certainly, acknowledge that and really encourage you to do what's right for you.
Thank you. So if there are any other questions, please do indicate them in the chat box there. We will be sharing this presentation. We're recording it, so you can certainly receive the links. Yep.
I just wanted to speak one more before.
Sure.
One of the things came to mind that I'd like to share. So in running sort of traditional MHA programs, I've had a unique opportunity over the years to really work with students and to kind of learn some of the challenges of how students learn and develop in these programs. And one of the areas that I think really is unique for us is the commitment to integrating the Jesuit values within our curriculum. And one of the reasons I think that's really critically important is that often in healthcare we hear leaders talking about, well, healthcare is a business, and while it certainly is a business, we also understand that healthcare is more than a business. And so I've had students over the years that have come to me, and some that are very conviction driven and that really believe in the missions of many of the faith-based healthcare organizations that are in place right now. And they've struggled with, how do we balance the fact that, yes, we need to look at the bottom line in terms of money with the reality of the decisions that we make and how they impact human beings and communities and populations. And so we, as part of this program, have really committed to integrating throughout the curriculum to help you more critically think about just the implications of these decisions, and ideally being able to develop more comprehensive solutions which can address both the bottom line while still benefiting the patient in a very positive way. And many healthcare leaders, CEOs of organizations, struggle on an ongoing basis with the decisions that they make. And I think because it can be so business focused, there often isn't that development in the other side of leaders, which really requires some of that. So I just wanted to share that because I think it's something that we all struggle with when, is healthcare a business? And yes, it's a business, but is it more than that? And are we doing a good job of developing leaders that can address that?
And Steve, we also had a question about the immersion class in terms of when it will be held. And I'm wondering if you could maybe speak a little to that in terms of how that's certainly something that differentiates this program in comparison to some others.
Sure. Yeah. And so we've had, I think certainly a lot of interest in how to take sort of the traditional online programs and the traditional residential ground program and say, how do we get the best of both worlds? And so the immersion course is really designed to have students take a sort of real world healthcare problem and come up with solutions and really do a team-based project over a long weekend with direct access and support of healthcare leaders from the greater Boston area. And so, there'll be some pre-work and some post-work, but, it's one of those opportunities to really tackle real-world problems and demonstrate, the skills that you're developing in this program. It also then creates a whole additional network of people within healthcare organizations, maybe not the organization that you're currently working for, but perhaps your next employer, that you then create those relationships with as part of the experience. So we think the immersion course is a really fun and exciting and different component of our program.
Great. Okay, so I'll just give it a little longer. Any other questions? Okay, great. One other question. Thank you. And this is actually a great question, Steve, in terms of the orientation that was included and, what type of orientation do we have for these students? And did this give a taste of the BC culture also in the orientation that we put on?
Right. So yeah, the orientation that we did for new students before the start of the term, I think it was a great way for everybody to really get a feel for not just the nuts and bolts of the program itself, but really also kind of the culture that we're creating within this program and the dialogue and the ability to have the kinds of engaging discussions and meaningful discussions that I think we want. One of the I think real strengths of having a synchronous component to our online program, that weekly live session, is that we know in healthcare organizations we have to talk to people and we have to learn how to talk to people and work in teams and be able to have real discussions and sometimes difficult discussions in something other than email and other than written chat. And so the oral kind of verbal portion of that and the dialogue and the engagement, I think, is seen as really critical, and employers look at that as essential and certainly an added value with our program.
Thank you. And another question just coming through. Could you clarify a little bit more about the role of the executive coach and what that really means in this program and for students?
Sure. So the executive coach is someone who, as I mentioned, will be assigned to you from the beginning. The executive coach is a senior level healthcare executive, somebody that typically has 25 plus years of experience in industry and has now kind of moving into an area where they can provide some direct mentoring. And so if you look at the American College of Healthcare Executives, they have an executive coach program where people actually pay coaches to serve in that role for them during their careers. And so we're providing that as a benefit of this program. So you'll have the executive coach, which, is somebody that really will be able to stay with you throughout the program. If you're having problems with, a particular course, you can certainly ask for additional help from the executive coach, or if there's technology issues, or if it's simply a matter of, here's where I am in my career right now. I think this degree is going to help me move to the next stage. What else can I do to position myself to be able to move into a higher level position when I graduate? And so and of course, the executive coach has a huge network of individuals that she is currently involved with, and so that gives you kind of a way to sort of jumpstart the career trajectory that you might want to take as a result of entering this graduate program. So it's really somebody that you'll end up talking to either typically by phone once a week at the start, maybe a little less frequently over time, but somebody that you can just check in with and make sure that you're having the support that you need and getting the support that you need to succeed in the program. And of course, students are also always free to contact me or any of our other folks here as well. But it's nice just to have a dedicated person that can really provide you with that little extra level of support.
And just a follow up to that is there just one executive coach, or are there multiple?
So we have one executive coach right now because our program is relatively new, and so the numbers are certainly not such that we need more than one, but we're prepared to add and to bring on an additional executive coach as our program grows.
Great. And then another wonderful question regarding the instructors. Are they healthcare executives or are they strictly academic-based professors?
Right. So we have a mix of both academic professors, people that have worked in academia. Typically, almost everybody has had a professional career in addition to working and developing their academic credentials. And so we really value the practice experience that our faculty bring to it. And so for the most part, you're going to find people that have both experience working in practice as well as formal academic training. And I think that adds a lot. This is an applied professional degree. It's not an academic theory type degree. And so we really want to make it as worthwhile as we can for you. Can I just add one more thing on the partner agreements? And so, again, if you have questions about whether we are partnered with your organization, I would encourage you just to email. You can email our admissions, the online MHA admissions email address, or call the 866 toll-free number and ask about that, and we can follow up. A number of healthcare organizations are kind of in the process of developing partnership agreements with us, and so we can kind of push that along if we know we have a student who is ready to move forward with their organization. We can make that happen pretty quickly.
Great. Thank you, Steve. I don't think any other questions are coming in right now. I will just echo again what Colin left with, to please contact our admissions specialist. That contact number is right there. Visit the online mha.bc.edu site to try to hopefully fill out a request for more information, speak directly with an admission specialist there. This is, as Steve's noted, just a fantastic program. We really would love to answer any additional questions, encourage you throughout the application process, and hopefully have you join us for the next enrollment period. As Steve noted, the next one's October 24th. We do have several throughout the year. So we'd love to have you join Boston College, and any questions at all, feel free to contact the application specialist at that number that's listed there, and we will be sending out this presentation for any other questions or links you want to visit. Steve, anything else you want to leave with at this point?
No, and certainly feel free to reach out to me. You can certainly send me an email if you have program-specific questions as well. I'm always happy to email with you, and also set up a time to talk by phone if I can answer any other questions or help give you more perspective on the program.
Great. Excellent. Well, thank you all very much for joining us today. Again, we'll be sending this out. If you have any questions, get in contact with us, and we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the health administration program.
Thank you.
Thank you.